All right, thank you very much, Steve. Dozens of dogs in Montgomery County are now out of the cold tonight, and a breeder is facing charges. It's been creating quite a stir on our Facebook page for days. So many phone calls and emails come into our station as well. People claiming animal abuse in the town of Root as photos circulated of the dogs in the cold and the snow. Tonight, many of those dogs have a new, warmer place to stay. That after a breeder is charged with failing to provide adequate shelter. Our Brendan Lewis was there tonight as the SPCA took those dogs from the property. He joins us live in the newsroom tonight. Brendan, when can the breeder get those dogs back? Will the breeder get those dogs back?
He could, Greg. He needs to provide better shelter for the dogs in order to do so. Up until tonight, many of them were sleeping outdoors in what state police called primitive housing. Tonight, 2 rescue buses from downstate were used to ID nearly 50 seized or surrendered dogs and then haul them away. Just before 8, a dozen workers and volunteers came to this breeder's home on Rappa Road and started seizing dogs. First to go were 6 puppies that were living inside. A Long Island-based rescue group donated the use of this bus to help organize the effort and provide temporary warm shelter during the night.
Right now, what we're seeing on the shih tzus is that they're terribly matted. They're scared, they're shaking. Of course, they're scared, they're cold. They have not been well cared for.
Earlier in the day, the owner of the property, Herbert Weich, was in Montgomery County Supreme Court for a preliminary hearing. He reached an agreement with the state's attorney's office to surrender 40 collies living outdoors. He'll also get to keep 17 puppies as long as he brings them indoors during cold nights.
Having someone who's going to take care of them in a safe, humane way to make sure they're properly fed is in the dog's best interest. Having them go into adoption only further taxes the resources of the SPCA, of the rescue groups.
He could get the dogs back if he improves the shelters. State police have said all along their living conditions were primitive and noted none of the dogs showed any distress. Still, the county's SPCA says they needed the help.
It's a tough job doing it, but it's good. Now we know that these animals that have been out in the cold are now going to be warm tonight.
Now, the owner in this case was charged with failing to provide adequate shelter. He's due back in court on the 13th. He declined to speak on camera, but pledged to build new housing for the dogs. Animal activists are still hoping he turns over all of the dogs. Live in the newsroom, Brandon Lewis, CBS 6 News.